name is Luhn. I'm the owner of Bella Luna Wood-Fired Pizza. We're right here on 80 West Water Street in the old livery building. In a construction zone, a lot of banging and clanging going on. We're working towards an opening just a few weeks away. Getting excited about this space and getting excited about opening in Downtown Harrisonburg. Well, I've lived in the Valley for about 9 years, and I'd say the last 3 or 4 years I've started to notice Harrisonburg more and more and become more aware of what's going on in Harrisonburg. I'm very excited specifically about Downtown Harrisonburg and what's happening here. I'm very optimistic about the future here, the plans that have been laid, what's going on currently, and what's going to happen in the future. I think is really going to surprise a lot of people. Downtown Harrisonburg has the people who have a vision and a will to make some things happen down here that I think is unique in the region. Absolutely. There's also folks here who just have a certain amount of stick-to-itiveness to complete projects with an end goal in mind. For example, this space owned by Barry Kelly of Matchbox Realty, Barry bought it with a vision to combine housing downtown, so residential, retail, and a restaurant. This isn't the first project that he's taken a historic building and done that to, and I think the vision to kind of create community down here that Barry has by bringing these elements together is amazing. And every time he completes a project, there's an added layer, an added bit of momentum to downtown. There are other people, Eddie Bumbaugh of Historic Downtown, the HDR, Downtown Renaissance, is a unique individual who really facilitates some of what has gone on here and what will happen in the future. The most exciting thing is the vibe downtown, just the people who are down here. I run into more people who had I run into a lot of JMU grads, graduated 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or folks who have grown up here, and they've come back to Harrisonburg. They've chosen to come back here from other metropolitan areas just because of the vibe that's happening downtown. They call Harrisonburg the friendly city. A little bit trite, but it's really true. I've been so impressed by the friendliness of all the people down here, the other business owners, the students who come downtown, and many of the visitors who are here. There's just a great mix of people, and it's on the street. That vibe is really exciting. For someone who's considering opening a restaurant here, it's pretty exciting. In the restaurant world, you know, it's the trite saying, a rising tide floats all boats. You have to have a core of restaurants to create a critical mass, to create some momentum, and that's happening in the next year. There will be several more restaurants added to downtown. People who really know what they're doing and have a vision for what's going on down here. You know, what we were looking for was a space that could be both rustic and refined, both upscale and down to earth, something that combined the historic with some modern elements, and I think we found that here. 15-foot high ceilings, a lot of exposed oak columns, beams, floor joists. There's kind of a rustic warmth here that I think people will find really appealing. I want a place where folks who have finished a bike ride want to come down to grab a beer and pizza can come to and feel comfortable. And yet I wanted to create a space where if you had a special event, your parents were coming into town or celebrating an anniversary, that it could still be upscale enough, gourmet enough, that you'd feel comfortable being in here, that it would be a special place. And I think we're close to achieving that here, and some of the elements that come together and some of our plans for both the menu and the beer and wine, etc. It's not a bar that's finished yet, but it is. This is white oak that's been sourced from all within 50 miles of Harrisonburg. It was milled at Willow Run Custom Lumber just on the north edge of town. So in the build out of the space, we wanted to try to mirror our whole concept for the restaurant, and that is to make it a community space. My menu, for example, it's a farm-to-table menu. It is drawing in community farmers to bring their produce, their meats, their cheeses as a part of our menu. I wanted that same feel as we built out the space to bring in local products. We're using a lot of reclaimed materials. We have 150-year-old oak that we brought in to accent what was uncovered here as well. So we're trying to create in the build-out kind of that community element, that local element, and so the bar top just represents the tabletops, the bar tops, and some of the other materials we've used are consistent with the historic building, but also represent things from the community that will help be consistent in the community feel we're trying to create. We're going to be doing both wood-fired pizzas, handmade pastas, some killer appetizers, some wonderful house-made desserts. But I can't help but get excited about the pizza process. Wood-fired pizza is really an interesting thing. It's just, in its simplicity and its directness, it's an exciting concept. You know, 4 ingredients: water, flour, salt, and yeast, a 900-degree oven, and 2.5 minutes with some toppings from local farms, and you've got a pizza that is really unique. The textures, flavors, consistency, tastes that you can achieve in a 900-degree oven. You can't do that in a standard gas-fired 500-degree oven. So it's just such a simple, direct thing, and yet it's so unique. I can't help but get excited about that. This oven is a 6,800-pound beast. It's got a 5-foot baking chamber inside behind that wall. We are firing this oven with, I talked about my locally sourced tabletops, white oak, and my bar tops, white oak. The sawmill, Willow Run Custom Lumber on the north end of Harrisonburg, is giving us all of their scrap to fire this oven. So we're heating this with a local source. Just a little bit of wood in that well-insulated oven will get us up to a floor temperature of 650 degrees and a dome temperature of close to 1,000 degrees. So once again, wood-fired oven pizza is a different bird. In those temperatures, you can achieve some flavors, textures, consistencies that you can't achieve in a normal gas deck oven at 450, 500 degrees. Flour, water, salt, and yeast in about 2.5 minutes. Locally sourced toppings, meats, cheeses, produce will really give us a wonderful, thin-crusted, Neapolitan-inspired pizza. So I've talked about pizza as theater with our open kitchen and wood-fired oven. We kind of wanted to mirror that with a beverage theater. And as some people around town are talking about, Harrisonburg was just awarded the best beer town in the Blue Ridge. We're trying to grab that theme and carry it further. We're going to have 14 taps right here. A copper-clad tap section that kind of mirrors the wood-fired oven. We'll have actually some Prosecco on tap, some cider, and then 12 beers. And we're hoping to do the majority of those beers. We're hoping to source those from the Mid-Atlantic. We'll have a Harrisonburg beer, a lot of Virginia beers, beers from North Carolina, New York City, all the way down to Georgia. So we're trying to focus on regionally some of the best beers. And I didn't make Harrisonburg a beer town, but we're glad